Hi everybody and welcome back to the Fashion Bunker. It's that time of the month. Top 5 perfumes for the month of March 2020. The list is going to be very interesting this time around. I am very conceptual this month with my approach to smell and who created the smell. So before we continue, first I would like to thank my patrons over on Patreon, Super Dacob all spelled together. For Patreon, this video will be released before YouTube. Also on Patreon, it will run ad-free, and the Patreon version is much longer than the YouTube version because there is a lot to be said about the behind the top 5 perfumes for the month of March. So head on over to Patreon if you're interested to join the community there with a lot of videos that are not available on YouTube, as well as a lot more discussions. So thank you so much for listening. Let's get straight to the concept of smelling in March. The first fragrance I wear when I start the day is a beauty. It's a light beauty. It is Rive Gauche pour Homme. Now, Rive Gauche pour Homme in this can version, 125 ml, is discontinued. And actually, I've been to Yves Saint Laurent the other day. They have not only discontinued this years ago, but they've also discontinued the glass square bottle with the black cover. So Rive Gauche pour Homme is completely gone. Just shows you how Yves Saint Laurent is discontinuing all the cool stuff for whatever reason. Probably because these fragrances are somehow, some of the ingredients, well, first of all, maybe they're not selling as much as they want them to sell, but second of all, since Yves Saint Laurent has passed from YSL Beauty to L'Oréal, a lot of things are changing. Probably also some chemical components are not allowed to be used anymore, or L'Oréal doesn't want to pay the rights to use them, or the companies that own the rights from the formulations prior don't want to give them to L'Oréal. There's a lot of reasons, a lot of politics behind it. So we don't know. And we'll never really know. We can only speculate because these big brands are never going to really spill their secrets. But fact is, this one is discontinued. I wear it early in the morning because it's so breezy, light, and smooth, and it kind of gives you hope and a whiff of fresh air for the month to come, or for the day to come in particular. And right now, with all the issues we're having with health and travels, and kind of, these are dark, dark times we're living in, and there's a lot of fear in the air. So I combat that with power and freshness and a healthy dose of optimism to begin the day. And that's what Rive Gauche pour Homme is to me in the eau de toilette form. Around noon, I then swap. Oh, by the way, before I swap, this one is created by Jacques Cavalier, and that's important to note. The second one is Grande Poudre. Now, this one is amazing. New discovery of mine. Quentin Biche is the perfumer behind this one. He's the guy behind Marquis de Sade. So, the fragrance. So, you know in which direction this could go. It's kind of innocent in the opening, but it gets really fascinating later on in the dry down. This one is all about violets and sage, and actually violet leaves, which I've noticed many fragrances within the Yves Saint Laurent range utilize not the violet per se, but the violet leaves. And sage, being one of my favorite plants of all times, whether it be eating it or making tea out of it or just smelling it in pure natural form, I just love it, love it, love it, love it. So this one is a perfect transition from early afternoon to afternoon. And because of the musk and the dry down here, it starts off fresh, so it continues what Rive Gauche started, and then it kind of opens the gates for what's to come. And that's the fascinating part here. So as we move on to the third fragrance, we notice kind of a depth, a real depth kicking in, and that would be Noble Leather. Noble Leather by Yves Saint Laurent. Another Yves Saint Laurent fragrance. Yes, it is. This is a 2013 version. Oh, and guess what? Discontinued. So another one that Yves Saint Laurent decided to butcher, and so we cannot enjoy it anymore, unfortunately. But it is so beautiful. The saffron and the patchouli in here and the leather tones and the ambery rich accords, just, you've been fresh, you've gone a little bit more from fresh to warm, and then here you drop off that precipice and you're falling down into the warmth of what is to come. So this is from 4 p.m. onwards, the fragrance to set the tone for a rich evening to come, a deep evening to come. And when that evening comes, let's say already 6 p.m., 7 p.m., that's when we go all opium. And opium is amazing. This is the pure perfume of opium, and this is a special extra. It's not just this one, but I also use as the fourth perfume. I switch and swap. Sometimes I do opium, the parfum, but sometimes I do the opium pour homme, the eau de parfum. And we have no space left. Great. Now, the eau de parfum, this is the first formulation of it in its refillable package, is amazing. Another one that Jacques Cavalier made. And it is so, how to call it? In the eau de parfum form, not in the eau de toilette. In the eau de parfum form, it is so rich and warm. This one was released in the 90s as opposed to this one, which was released in the 70s. But it has a vanilla warmth, while this one goes more for the carnation and clove type of warmth with a lot of incensey hues in there. So this one plays more on a warmth that is perhaps a bit more palpable in terms of edible in the way it goes, but it lasts not as long as this one. And this one, if I, depending how the evening veers, this is where we kind of split the evening. It either goes in that vanilla warm direction, or it heads into a passionate incensey carnation clovey direction. So it's either or here, but no matter which one of these two, no matter where they split us up, where we end is very fascinating, because where we end is by our man. That would be l'homme. Let's put it upside down so it fits better the picture. And also because, this is a special edition designed by Jean Nouvel. Hope I pronounced the name correctly. Fascinating to note that one of the three noses behind this one is Dominique Ropion, and Dominique Ropion is also the nose behind Carnal Flower. So Carnal Flower is to keep in mind when analyzing a vision of this one, because you're going to say, wait a minute, Dacob, why are you ending the day with L'Homme, also by Yves Saint Laurent, by the way? And yes, this shows you a picture. Each and every fragrance this month is from Yves Saint Laurent. There's a reason for that. L'Homme, you're going to ask yourselves, is why am I choosing that one as the one for the night? Not just because the bottle has a phallic symbol, and of course that's the direction the night is heading towards. Someone got lucky, but not just that. It is lighter than the other ones. Yes, but Dominique Ropion, as it was designed and created in Carnal Flower, did something similar in L'Homme. There is no tuberose in here. It's not that intense. It's not that powerful. It's the opposite of that. It's very, very subtle. But that's exactly why it's so good to end the evening, because we had a progression of this freshness, cleanliness, and we moved slowly into warmer and darker territories, and we've reached really our peak. With this triptych here, I really reach the climax. And so after that, you need kind of a refreshing moment, a moment of freshness and a moment of whiff. So when you do go to bed, and this is really the night fragrance for me, I know that Yves Saint Laurent also created a night version. There's like a La Nuit de l'Homme, but that's not the one I really like. I like l'Homme for the night without the La Nuit added to it, because it literally cleanses all of the olfactory papilles and everything that's connected to smell and taste. The build-up got its climax, and now there's a build-down. And I'm all for these contrasts. Usually people tend to, in society, just to kind of build up, be on a high, on a constant high, and have that climax and kind of ride it. But I'm very fascinated by the coming down from something, from a high. And I'm fascinated in experiencing and experimenting the feels and the moods and the emotions that you go through. And it is also really good because this particular perfume has the end, because this one ties in very well with the beginning again when we start early in the morning. So this one follows you through the night. It's warming. It's also cooling. It's very light. It does what it's supposed to do. It's subtle. It's not a crazy screaming Yves Saint Laurent fragrance that we're actually used to from Yves Saint Laurent smelling. But it ties in with the beginning again. And there we go. This is our infinite circle. And it's so good to have this circle for me right now, emotionally. I'm talking only, personally for me. And I can tell you that in this scenario, that bottle and that formulation have been discontinued. This formulation, this bottle have been discontinued. The Pure Perfume, last time Yves Saint Laurent made it was in 2017. As of now, they still have stock available, but it's been discontinued. Noble Leather has been discontinued. Grande Poudre is the only one that's newly released, late 2019. I'm loving it, but I'm afraid of falling too much in love with it because also this one has been discontinued. So the only one left of all of these here, really, that's still in production is this one. And this is the whiff of hope, perhaps, but my selection of these 5, it's kind of like I'm using them, but also with that awareness. And this is my point about this month, because we're bombarded with all these news about the virus and the tax and politically it's a mess, the world we live in right now. And so that's why I'm enjoying and kind of tasting life every day, every step at a time, as if it were the last, just because I want to psychologically be ready for whatever is to come. So knowing that I'm also using fragrances that are no longer in production, or most of them are no longer in production, kind of makes me enjoy them even more, because I'm aware that with every spray I use, I will be able, I know a little piece of them is gone and it's never going to come back. So it's an extra special feel. And that would be my top 5 for the month of March. A very, very special type of top of the month perfume video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please do thumb it up and let me know what your thoughts are and your best or favorite perfumes for the month of March are in the comment section down below. Also, if you haven't already but wish to consider subscribing to my channel here on YouTube, I'm also on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Super Dacob, all spelled together. And of course, I'm also on Patreon, and for my patrons, stay tuned, because right after this video, you're going to see the behind the top 5 perfumes for the month of March video in continuation to this. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, never forget to never give up on love. Love you all. See you soon. Take care. Bye.